Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Meydan Racecourse here on Friday. It is the 10th of February 2023. Going to look at all the races on the program from Meydan, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. Let's start off with the opening race, the first race from Meydan, which is the Palm Jumeirah Handicap. It's a handicap going for a $75,000 purse, race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 14 horses heading to the lawn, the turf course, the distance of ground of 2,000 meters or a mile and a quarter on that turf course. I'm going to take as a top selection here the number 6 horse, Falling Shadow. Let's go 6-4-8 in your TriCash trifecta. 6-4-8 TriCash trifecta. Top selection 6 horse, Falling Shadow. This 4-year-old gelding by Invisible Spirit. Godolphin Doan. Charlie Appleby trains. William Buick gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 27th of January in Meydan. A mile and a quarter and a handicap that day. And he finished third by 2 lengths. And, he just didn't have the best of trips that day. He was a little bit wide. And, he moved a little bit late, but he still needed something. First start back from August. He probably needed the run. Second off the bench, probably going to have to overcome another wide poster again, break from barrier number 13. But I think second off the bench, I think he could get the job done here today. It's not the world's toughest race. Two back, he ran at Goodwood on the 20th of August, a mile and a quarter and a handicap that afternoon, and he finished 5th by 18 lengths that day. And again, he sat back early. He moved a little bit late. Had a little bit of a high weight, but he still ran his heart out there. His heart out early on in the race, then he completely hit the wall. And then prior to that, Newmarket, 6th of August, mile and a quarter and a handicap. He finished second by 1 1/4 lengths. He just needed that extra turn of foot. On the July course at Newmarket, you either handle that final furlong or 2 furlongs or you don't. He just definitely did handle the final 2 there. And then at Royal Ascot, a mile and a quarter and a handicap. He finished 7th by 8 1/4 lengths that day. Had a little bit of trouble trip around the far turn, and he's just facing 2 top competition. His last victory came at Newbury in May, where he ran a mile and a quarter in main race, breaking the main by 2.5 lengths. He basically won for fun. Come back here today. I know he's 2-1, but he's a very likely winner, so let's take him. To recap my selection now for the opener from Meydan, let's take the 6 horse Falling Shadow. Let's go 6-4-8 and your TriCash trifecta. To the second race from Meydan, it's the Dubai Islands Handicap. It's a handicap going for a $75,000 purse, race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 11 horses going 1,600 meters or a mile on the dirt course. I'm going to take here as a top selection the number 9 horse, Quality Humor. Let's go 9-3-1 in your TriCash trifecta. 9-3-1 TriCash trifecta. Top selection 9 horse, Quality Humor. This 4-year-old gelding by Distorted Humor. Ray Dawson gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 27th of January at Meydan, mile 3/16 and a handicap that afternoon, and he finished 4th by 11 lengths that day, and he just kind of stalked. He had the lead around the far turn, but then he just couldn't handle the final, 2 furlongs. I do think the cutback to a nearly 1-turn mile suits him well. I think he should get a good trip, and I think he could win here today. 2 back around the 1-turn mile at Meydan, 13th of January, and a handicap. He finished 3rd by 6 1/4 lengths. He just needed that extra turn of foot late, but he ran his heart up, stepping up in class that afternoon. And then prior to that, Jebel Ali on the 17th of December, 7 furlongs in the main race. Took him a few starts to break the main, but he finally did it, winning by 7.5 lengths. Again, from a track position, he got off the final hill well. Even from a wide poster, I thought it was a very good run there. And then it made on in early December in a 1-mile conditions race. He finished second by 2.5 lengths, a little bit wide, but he was gaining. Coming here today at 5-1, I think he's a very likely winner. I'm going to use him along with the number 3 horse here, who is Positive Impact. James Doyle's on this one for Simon Ed Crisford. Most recently, they ran the horse at Meydan on the turf course a few weeks ago, a mile at a handicap, where he finished 10th by 6 1/4 lengths that day, and he stalked from a very wide poster, and then he just kind of hit the wall. First start back, he probably needed the race. Coming here second off the bench, coming to dirt. If he could sit closer without the kickback, I think he could really run a good race. His turf efforts could definitely win on the dirt, but the biggest question is, can he handle the kickback? 2 back on the synthetic at Kempton, 1 mile in the handicap, he won by 4 lengths that day, and again, from a tracking position, condition. He quickened up nicely and got the job done. A very good race there. Prior to that, Thirsk in a handicap. The winner just had the jump on him late, but he finished second by 2 1/4 lengths, running a decent effort. And then a very good place at Chester before that 1 mile and a handicap, where he finished second by a half length again. He was with them early on, but he just couldn't keep up late. Coming here today, I think he's a very likely winner. I'm going to use him on the ticket also. But to recount my selection for the second from Meydan, it is the Dubai Islands handicap. Let's take as a top selection 9-horse Quality Humor. Give kudos to the 3-horse here, Positive Impact. 931 TriCast Trifecta. 93 in your multi-race play spot, whatever you decide to play. Let's get to the third race now from Meydan, which is the Dubai Trophy Stakes. It's a conditions race going for a $100,000 purse. Races for 3-year-olds only. 9 horses are going 1,200 meters or 6 furlongs on the turf course. I'm going to take as a top selection the 2-horse Al Dazim as a top selection. Let's go 245 in your TriCast Trifecta. 245 TriCast Trifecta. Top selection 2-horse Al Dazim. 3-year-old colt by Harry's Angel. Miguel Barcelona is on this one. The horse's most recent outing came at Meydan on 13th of January. 6 furlongs in a conditions race, and he won by 3 lengths. And he was very heavy favorite at 29 cents to the dollar that day, but he settled well from a tracking position. He quickened up nicely, and he went away with it. That was a very, very good run, like I said. Coming here second off the bench, should be a lot fresher. Gonna get a good trip on the inside. I think he go away and run a good race again today. 2 back 12th of November, Wolverhampton in the UK. 6 furlongs in the Tapeta in a novice race. He won by 3 1/4 lengths that day. And again, he stalked. He had a little bit of a wide trip around the bend, but when he quickened up at 29 cents to the dollar, he got the job done. Another very easy race for him there. And then prior to that at Wolverhampton, 12th of October, 5 furlongs in a novice race. He won by 3/4 length and had the speed from the inside. He quickened up nicely and went away with it. He was a winner on turf also in the UK, winning at Windsor in his maiden race. 5 furlongs there back in July, winning by 4 lengths. Again, another easy race. He likes sprinting. He's come back here to run the 6. I'm going to use him on the ticket. If there's a small upsetter, it could be the 4-horse Princeville for William Buick and Godolphin. He's 10-1 here. It might be the best price you see on a Godolphin horse with Buick and Charlie Appleby at the Carnival. Most recently, a few weeks ago, in that conditions race here, which Al Dazim won, he finished 9th by 13 lengths and absolutely had nothing. Absolutely nothing. Ran crap that day. Was a winner before that, Linkfield, very nicely. And, the debut at Yarmouth wasn't a bad place. Came back to win a few weeks later in a Yarmouth main race by a 3/4 length with Buick up. He's coming here today. It wouldn't surprise me if he wins also, but I think Al Dazim, that race last time out was really exciting, and that win 2 back at Wolverhampton was very exciting also, with a enormous weight on his back. I forgot to mention that 144 pounds is incredible for a 2-year-old to win like that. But coming here today, another very likely winner. I'm going to use this horse in the place pot pick for Quaddy, whatever I decide to play. But to recount my selection for the second from Meydan, it's Dubai Trophy Stakes. Let's take the 2-horse Al Dazim. Give kudos to the 4-horse Princeville. 245 TriCast Trifecta. Let's go 2-4 in your place pot. To the 4th race now from Meydan. It is the Curlin Handicap. It's a handicap going for a $100,000 purse. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 12 horses going 2,000 meters or a mile and a quarter on the dirt course. Same race that Curlin used, wasn't named the Curlin Handicap back then, but at Nat Al Sheba, he used this race to go on to win the Dubai World Cup. And California Chrome also used a race here to go on to run the Dubai World Cup. So, it's kind of cool that the American horses have run in this race. With that being said, I'm not taking an American horse in this race. I'm taking an Irish bred horse. The 4-horse Lost Eden is a top selection. Let's go 419 in your TriCast Trifecta. 419 TriCast Trifecta. Top selection 4-horse Lost Eden. 6-year-old Galen by Sea of the Stars. Doug Watson trains. Pat Dobbs gets the mount. Well, Doug Watson is an American, so it kind of counts. Most recently ran the horse a few weeks ago at Jebel Ali on the 14th of January. Before I get any further, there's a great race this Saturday at Jebel Ali. Here stateside, we can't really bet the races from Jebel Ali, but in the UK and everywhere else in the world they can. So maybe I'll look at that race. But the Jebel Ali Mile always shows up as a good race. But back to this race. Most recently, an illicit race of Jebel Ali over the mile quarter. He finished second by 2 3/4 lengths. He sat back early, but the run up that hill was really nicely done late. He quickened up a lot. Not a bad race. I thought that was a good stamina builder. Refreshing here to a level playing field. If he gets a good tracking trip, I think he could win. I think he get away with it. Two back in a conditions race at Jebel Ali, 17th of December over the mile and an eighth. He won by 3.5 lengths, and again he sat a little closer than he did in the next race. But he sat closer. He quickened up nicely going up the hill. Even with a heavy weight of 130 pounds, he still got the job done. A very good race from there off the bench. And then prior to that, 27th of December, Jebel Ali, a mile and a quarter in enlisted stakes, won by 1 3/4 lengths from a tracking position. He had to be used a lot that day, but he got the job in a very good race there. And then prior to that, in conditions race last January at Jebel Ali, he won quite easily. His most recent race here at Meydan wasn't a great race at all. That came last December, Christmas Eve of 2021, in a conditions race over the mile that day. The race actually came 21st of January at Meydan. A mile and a quarter in a conditions race. He didn't finish the race. He lost Andrea Tazzini. What can you do? He just had a very horrible beginning, which cost him. But refreshing here, back to Meydan, off some great stamina building races at Jebel Ali. I think at 6-1 he could get the job done. I think the one-horse hypothetical, the old man making a seasonal reappearance, could get the job done also. He won the Maktoum Challenge round 3 very nicely, and prior to that won the Firebreak. But something, if going through his form lines, he doesn't really run so well first off the bench. But maybe he could finally change it in his 6-year-old debut. But, prior races could definitely win against these horses. But to recount my selection for the fourth from Meydan, it's the Curlin Handicap. Let's take the 4-horse Lost Eat and give kudos to the 1-horse hypothetical. 419 TriCast Trifecta, 4-1 in your place pot. The featured fifth race now from Meydan. It's the Group 2 Blue Point Sprint. It's a Group 2 event going for a $180,000 purse race for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 13 horses, going 1,000 meters or 5 furlongs on the turf course. I'm going to take here the number 8 horse, Man of Promise. Let's go 862 in your TriCast Trifecta. 862 TriCast Trifecta, top selection 8 horse, Man of Promise. This 6-year-old gun by Into the Mischief. Godolphin Doan, Charlie Outby trains. James Doyle gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 27th of January at Meydan, 6 furlongs and enlisted stakes, and he finished second by 3/4 of length that day. He just kind of stalked all the way around the race course, had the lead. Concello just had the jump on and came back on this horse. What can you do? He ran his heart out, just close but no cigar. Coming here today, getting Doyle up. It seems like the Doyle horses have been really running well this winter at Meydan, but coming here back to Meydan, hopefully more involved. I think he could definitely win over these horses again. 6th of January was his previous race. First off the bench, 5 furlongs and enlisted stakes. He finished second behind stablemate Lazuli, who's running back in this one today. And that afternoon, he just stalked, couldn't catch Lazuli, who had the jump on him, but he still ran his heart out there. And then his final race of 2022 in the UK, 16th of July to be exact, in Newbury, 5 furlongs in the Group 3 Hackwood Stakes. He finished 6 by 3 lengths. There we go. Third try. And he just completely hit the wall. It was with him early on, but he just couldn't keep up there. And then the King's Stand over the 5 at Ascot. He finished 8th by 6 3/4 lengths. And again, never getting a good race. He was a winner most recently here at Meydan last March in the Natal Sheba Turf Sprint, winning by 4 1/4 lengths. He was a go-away victor. An all-around good race. Coming here today, it wouldn't surprise me if he wins. The stablemate Lazuli, the 6 horse, is your second likeliest winner. A horse will definitely use in the quaddy here or the pick 4. William Buick's on this one for Charlie Outby. Most recently on that 6th January race here at Meydan over the 6 furlongs or 5 furlongs and that listed 6, he won by 1 1/4 lengths there, quickened up nicely. A very good race for him there. Prior to that, in the Nunthorpe in the UK over the 5, he finished 7 by 6 lengths, and he just never quickened up. A horrible race. Wasn't his day to win against those Group 1 quality sprinters. And then in the King George Qatar at Goodwood over the 5, he finished 4th by a length. He neither quickened up or weakened out of it. He just kind of plodded along. I thought it was an okay race, but he could have improved off that next run. And then prior to the King's Stand, he finished 9th by 7 lengths off the bench. Definitely needed the race there. Most recent victor before that in 2022 was in this race last year, winning by 1 1/4 lengths, winning for fun basically. An all-around good race. Coming here from the inside at 2-1, another victor, likely victor. We'll use him on the multi-race ticket. But to recap my selection for the fifth race from Meydan, 4:20 local post time in the UK, it is the Group 2 Blue Point Sprint. Let's take the 8-horse Man of Promise. Give kudos to the 6-horse Lazuli, 862 Tricast Trifecta, 8-6 in your multi-race. Let's get to the co-featured sixth race now from Meydan. Back to the back to the dirt from the sixth race from Meydan. It is the Group 3 UAE 2,000 Guineas. It's a Group 3 event going for a $150,000 purse, race for 3-year-olds only. Field of 9 horses going 1,600 meters or a mile on the dirt course. I'm going to take as a top selection here the number, where are we? I'm going to take the number 8 horse Tall Boy. Let's go 832 in your Tricast Trifecta. 832 Tricast Trifecta, top selection 8-horse Tall Boy. This 3-year-old colt by Looking at Lucky. Doug O'Neill trains. William Buick gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came at Los Alamitos on the 17th of December, a mile 1/16th in Los Alamitos Futurity, and he finished fourth by 4 1/4 lengths that day. And he just didn't have the best of trips. He got bumped out of the gate. He was stupidly wide, and he just wasn't keeping up with those slightly better horses at that spot. Refreshing here. Gets it closer, has the speed to win. I think he could really run a good race and finally get the victor, or in his fifth start. He's still a maiden here. 2 back in the main race at Del Mar, 6.5 furlongs, 26 in November. He finished third by 9 lengths that day. And again, not the best beginnings. He was stupidly wide, but he was closing up well late. Not the world's worst race. Off of that run, he wants a 1-turn mile like you would see here in New York at Aqueduct or at Belmont, or Gulfstream. But I didn't think he ran half bad, but the winner wasn't much the best winner. And then in early September at Del Mar, 6 furlongs in a maiden official claimer. He finished second by 3/4 length that day. Again, not the best beginnings. He was with them early on, a little bit wide, but he just couldn't keep up late. The winner again had the jump on him. And then on debut at Del Mar, 6.5 in a main race, main special weight. He finished fifth by 6 lengths. And again, he was just a little bit wide and just couldn't keep up there. Again, Cave Rock was a decent horse, beat him. Coming here today, like I said, I think off of his runs, he wants a 1-turn mile. He's going to get it. He has a good post draw. O'Neill doesn't have the world's worst record coming here with the American horses in the carnival. I'm going to use him on the ticket. I think your second likeliest winner is the 3-horse Magic Petition. Was a winner going away here, going 6 furlongs a few weeks ago in a handicap. Going to the mile today will be his ultimate test, but his sire, Good Magic, is a decent miler kind of pedigree horse. Coming here today, I'm going to use him on the ticket also, 12-1, but I think Tall Boy is your very likeliest winner. Here stateside, you're going to get 4-1 as your morning line. Do I think he's going to go off at 4-1? No, I think he's going to go off at evens, tell you the truth, or 50 cents a dollar. But we'll wait and see. But to recap my selection for the co-featured 6th race from Meydan, it's the Group 3 UAE 2,000 Guineas. Let's take the 8-horse Tall Boy. Give kudos to the 3-horse Magic Petition. 832 Tricast Trifecta. 8-3 in your multi-race. The nightcap, the 7th race now from Meydan. It is the Business Bay Challenge. It's listed stakes going for a $100,000 purse. Races for 3-year-olds and upwards. And I just noticed, why is... There we go. I'm saying, why is it, crooked? I must have hit the wire right before this. But sorry about that. Let's get back to the 7th race. Where was I? The 7th race, it is the Business Bay Challenge. It's listed stakes going for a $100,000 purse, race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 11 horses going to the turf course, the distance of ground of 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs on the turf course. I'm going to take here as a top selection the number 10 horse Shining Blue. Let's go 10-8-5 in your Tricast Trifecta. 10-8-5 Tricast Trifecta. Top selection 10 horse Shining Blue. 5-year-old gelding by Exceed and Excel. Godolphin Doan. Saeed Bensor trained. Daniel Thudhope gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing game, 20th of January, made on 7 furlongs and a handicap, and he won by a half a length that day and basically almost sat on the front end all throughout. With the blinkers on that day, it concentrated him really well. He quickened up nicely in the front end, and he went away with it. A very good run. Do I think he's going to get as an easy lead today? No, but I still think the speed should hold up. to get him to the winner's enclosure today. Two back at Leicester, 11th of October, 7 furlongs and a handicap, and he finished 5th by 5 1/4 lengths that day, and he just never really could get to the front end. He was a little bit wide and had a high weight, a little lackadaisical. It wasn't his day to win, and then at Ascot, 3rd of September, 7 furlongs and a handicap. He finished 16th by 4 3/4 lengths that day, under the drive and just not excelling. Yielding ground definitely got to him that day, and then prior to that at an Heritage Handicap at York during Ebor, 1 mile there, finished 6 by 5 lengths, had a wide poster, had blinkers on that day, and tried getting good position, and which he somewhat did, but then completely crumbled under the pressure late. It wasn't his day to win. And then before that at Goodwood, 1 mile in the handicap, finished 18th by 12 lengths, and completely had nothing for the final two on that hot day. It wasn't his day to win. Coming here today, second off the bench, he should be fresher. I think the speed should really kill. I'm going to use him here. The 8-horse Modern News for William Buick and Godal finished second like loose winner. Most recent, the Zabeel Mile. He just got outclassed by the others. Prior to that, we're in the Sovereign Stakes at Salisbury over the mile, where he finished second by 3/4 length, really gaining well late. And then prior to that, in the Stakes at Pontefract over the mile, he finished 3rd by 3 3/4 lengths. Just needs something more late, but again, I thought he had a good trip there. Most recent victory came at Windsor and on the 9th of May, 1 mile listed stakes, won by 4 1/4 lengths. Only had 3 other rivals, but it was still a very good run. Refreshing here, second off the bench with some serious class relief from his previous races. I'll use him on the ticket to end off the card. But to recap my selection for the 7 from Meydan, it's the Business Bay Challenge listed stakes. Let's take the 10-horse Shining Blue. Give kudos to the 8-horse Modern News, 10-8-5 TriCast Trifecta, 10-8 in your multi-race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.